It's 8:30. Good morning. I'm Ian Crouch with Hunter News. Hunter New England Health is warning us not to become complacent despite a slowdown in the rate of coronavirus infection in the region. Another 10 cases were confirmed on Tuesday night, taking the region's total to 218. Public health physician Dr. David Durheim says the risk of further infection in the community remains very real.
We've heard people talking about the flattening of the curve, but this is premature. What we're seeing is really the end of the incubation period of people who were on the cruise ships, including the Ruby Princess. So all new cases now will be people who've either acquired the virus in the community or from gatherings together.
The federal government has launched a new program linking workers with businesses which have jobs available. Jobs Hub is designed to help thousands of people who've been stood down as a result of the pandemic. Many businesses have also registered for the federal government's wage subsidies to keep workers on. Employment Minister Michaela Cash says she's trying to keep as many people as possible in a job.
I am just so encouraged that almost 500,000 have already signed up, because what does that say? It says, as a business, I want to keep my business open, or alternatively, when we get through this on the other side, I want to reopen my business and I want to keep my employees on.
Jetstar has suspended all flights in and out of Newcastle Airport due to the coronavirus. Last month, the carrier reduced flights on its Newcastle-Brisbane and Newcastle-Melbourne route and cancelled services to the Gold Coast. QantasLink is still flying out of Newcastle to Brisbane, while Fly Pelican is operating flights to and from Dubbo and Canberra. Jetstar expects to resume flights from Williamtown in June. The Heart Foundation is encouraging Hunter residents to adopt and maintain a healthy diet during the self-isolation period to support the immune system. The organisation's studies show Newcastle and Lake Macquarie rank 5th out of 28 regions in the state for deaths from heart disease. The Hunter's Health Promotion Coordinator, Deborah Moore, says residents should be filling their plates with veggies, fruits, whole grains and healthy proteins.
There's a load of really great website recipes on the Heart Foundation website, and there's also ways that we can include some healthy eating tips in the house while we're in this isolation phase. Things like reducing your portion size, snacking on healthy foods rather than unhealthy foods.
In other news, the man accused of causing a fatal crash at Salamander Bay in 2018 has had his sentencing delayed for at least 6 months. It comes after the District Court announced sentencing, judge-alone trials, appeals and directions hearings will be delayed due to the coronavirus pandemic. It means 33-year-old Adam Bortic will have to wait until at least October to learn his fate after pleading guilty to 2 counts of dangerous driving, occasioning death. Lake Macquarie Council will undertake studies of 8 separate lake catchment tributaries to improve safety for residents living in inundation-prone areas. The analysis will be completed with computer models developed to map affected areas and establish likely future flood levels and severity. Manager of Environmental Systems Tim Brown says the 8 tributary studies will give Council flood planning information covering 98% of the city.
We have a number of low-lying areas, particularly around Swansea, Fennell Bay, Belmont South, and we expect that the studies that we prepare will help us identify flood risks in other areas. So after these studies are completed, it's pretty much the last piece of the puzzle. We're anticipating we'll have flood planning information over 98% of the city.
2NURFM Sport.
Knights officials have hit back at suggestions the club won't be able to afford new St George Illawarra recruit Tyson Frizzell next season with a drastically reduced salary cap due to the coronavirus. The back rower announced last week he'd signed a 3-year deal for a reported $700,000 a season back in January. At the same time, the club stood down all staff without pay until further notice. CEO Phil Gardner says any potential cap reduction wouldn't impact the signing of Frizzell, and all players are being treated equally. The Jets could lose key players as they stood down 26 staff yesterday to ease the financial blow of the coronavirus. The move has technically put the club in breach of players' contracts, with the likes of Steve Ugarkovic, Nikolai Topor-Stanley, Roy O'Donovan and Dimi Petratos likely to draw attention. Chief Executive Laurie McKenna says everyone understands this was a last measure to stay afloat and is disappointed it's come to this. And Newcastle golfers have been given the green light to hit the fairways after the government ruled the sport could carry on following the mass closure of courses on Tuesday. The Office of Sport says the game can continue while adhering to strict public gathering limits and social distancing measures. And the winning numbers in Oz Lotto are 27, 11, 34, 37, 40 and 45, and the supplementaries are 15 and 22. 2NURFM News Time, 25 to 9.